I used to think that vacations were a time to reconnect. A break from the routines and responsibilities that can slowly wear down even the strongest of bonds. That's what I had hoped for when I booked our trip to Tulum. 7 days of sun, sand, and some semblance of the connection we once had. My name's Nathan, and I've been married to Mia for 8 years. We were college sweethearts. You know the type, meeting in a cramped dorm hallway, her laughing at something dumb I said, me pretending I wasn't completely hooked on her voice. The first 5 years of marriage were good. Simple, even. We got a dog instead of having kids, renovated a tiny bungalow in the suburbs, and hosted wine nights with our friends. But something shifted in the last year or so. It was subtle at first, Mia staying later at work, brushing off date nights with, "Next week, I swear," or seeming distant even when we sat next to each other on the couch. I didn't question it. Not right away. I just chalked it up to life getting in the way, to stress, to the natural ebb and flow of a long-term relationship. But by the time spring rolled around, I was feeling it in my bones, this creeping fear that I was loving her harder than she was loving me. So I surprised her. A vacation, just the two of us. No work, no distractions. I remember the smile she gave me when I told her. Not fake, not forced. For a second, it felt like the old us. We flew out on a Saturday. The beach resort was one of those all-inclusive places, private bungalows, white sands that stretched endlessly, and staff who greeted you like you were royalty. Mia immediately took to it, tropical drinks by the pool, sunrise yoga, the works. I tried to match her energy, but I'll admit I was holding back. Still testing the waters, trying to see if this vacation was a patch or a reset. It was day 3 when she brought it up. A couple we had met earlier in the week mentioned the spa on the other side of the resort. Mia's eyes lit up. "I was thinking of trying one of their massages," she said over breakfast, stabbing at her papaya with a fork. "You should book one too." "I'm good," I replied. "Not really a massage guy." She shrugged, smiling. "Suit yourself. I think I'll try the deep tissue one. Maybe do the oceanfront cabana session." I didn't think much of it then. Later that afternoon, she left in a light cover-up and her favorite turquoise bikini underneath. "Be back in an hour," she called, blowing me a kiss as she stepped out the door. I waved from the lounger, watching her figure disappear down the palm-lined path toward the spa. When an hour turned into 2, I figured she was just indulging herself. It wasn't like her to be late, but we were on vacation, and time moved differently here. I even napped a bit. But by the time she returned, 3 hours later, there was something off. She didn't look relaxed. She looked flushed. Her cheeks were red, her hair slightly damp at the roots, and her cover-up clung awkwardly to her frame like she'd thrown it on too fast. "You okay?" I asked. "Yeah," she said quickly. "The massage ran long. They added a complimentary facial too." I wanted to believe her. But something in the way she avoided my gaze as she rummaged through her beach bag, the way her voice hitched just a little, it didn't sit right. That night, she was unusually affectionate, holding my hand while we walked along the beach, laughing at my terrible impressions of sea turtles. When we got back to the bungalow, she pulled me into bed and kissed me like she hadn't in months. I wanted it. God, I wanted to believe that whatever wall had been between us was finally gone. But in the morning, I noticed something. Her phone, buzzing softly on the dresser while she was in the shower. I never snooped. Never felt the need to. But that buzz came with a name, Carlos Spa, that lit up the screen with a preview. "Same time tomorrow? The View and you were..." I didn't finish reading. I couldn't move at first. Couldn't even feel my fingers. All I could do was stare at the message until the screen dimmed again. Mia came out moments later, towel around her hair, humming some beachy tune. Everything okay? She asked. Yeah, I lied. Just trying to figure out what we should do today. I didn't confront her. Not yet. I needed to know more. I needed to understand if this was a one-time thing, a lapse in judgment, or something deeper. That day, I excused myself to explore the town, rented a bike, and ended up in a bar near the edge of town sipping on something bitter and trying to figure out when exactly I lost her. That night, I played along again. Smiled, laughed, even made love to her again when she pulled me into bed. But it felt hollow. Like I was kissing a stranger wearing my wife's skin. The next day, she went to the spa again. And this time, I followed. It wasn't hard to follow her. She left the bungalow just before noon, dressed like the last time, hair tied loosely, sunglasses on, the same turquoise bikini under that thin white cover-up. Her steps were light, carefree. From the doorway, I waited 5 minutes before grabbing my sandals and heading out. I didn't go down the main path. The resort map I had studied obsessively the night before revealed a service trail weaving behind the guest villas, cutting straight through to the spa entrance. I stuck to the edges, ducked behind palm trees and thick, flowering hedges. I wasn't proud of what I was doing, but I couldn't pretend anymore. I had to see it for myself. The spa was secluded, nestled on the edge of the beach. A row of thatched roof cabanas opened toward the ocean, each one offering private, luxurious healing sessions, according to the brochure. I found a vantage point behind a lattice wall of creeping vines, just far enough to stay out of view. I saw him before I saw her. He was tall, lean, bronze-skinned with shoulder-length dark hair pulled into a low knot. Wearing white linen pants and nothing else, he looked more like a model than a massage therapist. He was setting up a table in one of the open-air cabanas, arranging towels and oils, moving with practiced grace. Then she arrived. She smiled at him the moment she stepped onto the sand. Not a polite smile. Something warmer. Intimate. She placed her hand on his chest as he said something I couldn't hear, then giggled, actually giggled, as he tucked a lock of her hair behind her ear. My chest tightened. I wanted to turn around and leave. But I stayed. I watched as he pulled the curtain half closed, not enough to block the view completely, just enough to create the illusion of privacy. Mia lay down on the table, face up, still in her bikini. He poured oil into his hands and began to rub it across her shoulders, neck, and arms. His hands moved lower. Her eyes closed. Her lips parted. I felt sick. At some point, he unhooked her bikini top. She didn't stop him. I couldn't take any more. I backed away slowly, heart pounding in my ears, vision blurred with tears I refused to shed. I didn't know where to go. I didn't want to go back to the bungalow, not yet. So I walked. I walked the beach for hours, trying to make sense of what I'd seen, trying to hold back the storm of fury and heartbreak boiling inside me. Part of me wanted to scream. Another part wanted to erase the last 48 hours completely. But most of all, I just wanted to understand why. By the time I returned to the room, it was nearly sunset. Mia was already back, lounging on the patio with a drink in her hand, sunglasses still on. "Hey, you disappeared today," she said, casual as ever. "Yeah," I replied, keeping my voice steady. "Took a long walk. Did some thinking." "About what?" I didn't answer right away. I sat down across from her, watching the orange sun sink into the horizon. Then I looked at her. Really looked at her. The face I knew better than my own. The woman I had built a life with. The woman who had just spent her afternoon with someone else's hands all over her, and was now sipping cocktails like nothing had happened. "I followed you today," I said quietly. Her head turned slightly, but she didn't take off her sunglasses. "I saw you with him." Silence. The air shifted. She set the glass down gently, her lips pressed into a thin line. "I didn't mean for it to happen," she finally said, her voice low. "At first, it was just a massage. He was sweet, kind. He listened. I felt seen. I didn't speak. I couldn't. Not yet. I've been feeling like I'm disappearing, Nate. Like I'm fading into someone else's routine. You used to look at me like I mattered. Lately, you've just been tired. Distracted. You cheated," I said, the words brittle. "Don't dress it up." She flinched. "I know. I'm not excusing it. I'm just trying to make sense of it myself. Did you sleep with him?" She hesitated. "No, but I would have." That hit harder than a confession. There was no guilt in her tone, just honesty. "I was hoping this trip would fix things," I said. "So was I," she whispered. The sun dipped below the waves. The world dimmed around us. We didn't speak much the rest of the night. She slept curled away from me, facing the wall. I lay staring at the ceiling, listening to the waves outside and the storm inside. The next morning, I woke before sunrise. I packed my bag quietly, left a note on the nightstand, and checked out without saying goodbye. I didn't fly home. I changed my ticket and flew to my brother's place in Portland. Needed a few days to figure out what came next. Mia texted me later. "I understand why you left. I'll give you space." "I'm sorry." I didn't reply. I wasn't ready. Still not sure I am. We haven't spoken since. But in the quiet hours, when the world is still and my thoughts are loud, I replay those moments. The massage. Her laughter. The way she said she felt invisible. And I wonder, did I stop seeing her, or did she stop being the woman I once saw? Sometimes, there's no villain. No clear answer. Just two people, slowly drifting, until someone reaches for something that isn't theirs, and the other walks away.